Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena and back to the channel. It has been a little bit of time since I last uploaded. It's just been a super busy week for me, I'm afraid, guys. So, you know, that's the reason why I've only uploaded, I think, like once this week, something like that. But we're back now. We're going to be playing some historic Brawl, and we're going to be playing around with some new cards as well, since the Alchemy set for Kamigawa just recently released. We're not going to be playing any Alchemy Kamigawa commanders, unfortunately, because they didn't make a digital-only commander this time around, like they did with Gutmorn and things like that previously, which was a lot of fun. Instead, we're going to be playing around with Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant, a 7-mana 5/5 legendary creature. Says whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you get to copy that spell and choose new targets for the copy. And it only triggers once each turn, which is a bit of a shame. This card could have been a lot better if it triggered every time. Would that be broken? Maybe, but it's a 7-mana creature that dies to Doomblade, so maybe it needs to be a little bit broken. Either way, whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell of their own, that spell gets countered, but only the first time each turn. That one is as fair as it needs to be. But yeah, this is the new Jin-Gitaxias from the Kamigawa set. We haven't played this one before, so I figured I'd give it a try. It plays similar to, like, Jacob Hawken in the sense that it is essentially mono-blue control with a big finish, and yeah, we're going to be doing just that. So, obviously, we're going to be trying to leverage artifacts, instant, and sorceries here, so not many creatures. I think I've got 7 creatures, and those are pretty much in the 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 drop slots and the 10 drop slots. There's a couple in here that are creatures like Brazen Borrower, but they're actually an instant most of all. But yeah, most of our creatures are going to be the big old top-end stuff, similar to the Jacob Hawken Brawl deck. So if you did like that deck, you're going to like this one a lot. It is mono blue control, of course, because if you play mono blue, the only ways you can really deal with your opponent's board state is by bouncing it or countering it. It's one of the weaknesses of mono blue, but you have to leverage it. You have to do it. So mono blue control it is. We've got lots of artifacts here as well to try and get us to Jin-Gitaxias as early as possible, as well as our big payoffs like Core Augur Jin-Gitaxias over here, Nezahal, Hullbreaker Horror, Big Ugin, Torrential Gear Hulk's quite a good one. We've got things like Discover the Formula, which is an instant spell, so 6 mana Gear Hulk flashing back Discover the Formula is absurd. But yeah, we got lots of stuff like that. So while we're ramping to our commander, we're also ramping to other things as well. It's very important you're not all in on your commander a lot of the time. So, you know, all of these cards here that are basically here to get us to cast our commander also allow us to cast some top end as well, so we're not just left stranded there. We've got lots of counter spells. I'm not really going to go into all of them. We got like Archmage's Charm, Sinister Sabotage, Dissipate, Disallow, you know, the usual suspects. I don't think we've got really any alchemy additions in terms of counter spells. We do have, obviously, where is it? Absorb Energy, which will cost reduce cards in our hand. There's a lot of cost reducing that goes on in this deck, which is amusing. We got Primal Amulet. I've been honestly looking for a deck to play this in for a while, and I think Brawl is really the only format right now where you can kind of get away with this card. It's a little bit too slow for Historic right now, other than, you know, janky casual decks, but, you know, we're playing a janky casual commander right now, I think, with Jin-Gitaxias, so figured I'd shove Primal Amulet in here. It's a personal favourite from back in the day. Cost reduces instants and sorceries, and then when he casts an instant or sorcery, you put a charge counter on it, and if there's 4 or more charge counters, you flip it over to Primal Wellspring, and Primal Wellspring does what Jin-Gitaxias does, basically. It adds 1 mana of any colour, and if you use that mana to cast an instant or sorcery, then you get to copy that spell. So we get to do things like double Time Warp, double Khan's Temporal Sundering, double Alrund's Epiphany. We've got a infinite combo here as well in Infinite Turns with Narset's Reversal. You all might remember when Nexus of Fate got banned. I did make a infinite turn combo deck with Narset's Reversal plus, what was it at the time? Khan's Temporal Sundering, I think. So basically, when you've got Primal Amulet flipped, then you get to copy a spell. So what you want to do is you want to go Karn's Temporal Sundering or any extra turn spell, and then using your Primal Wellspring, you want to copy Narset's Reversal. The copy of Narset's Reversal returns Narset's Reversal to your hand, and then you copy... oh god, I haven't done it in a long time, so it's very weird. Basically, Narset's Reversal, Karn's Temporal Sundering, or any other extra turn spell, plus Primal Wellspring, means that Narset's Reversal and your extra turn spell always return to your hand, but the targets are very confusing. I think you make the copy of Narset's Reversal bounce Narset's Reversal, because that copy then makes a copy of Narset's Reversal. So you have 2 copies of Narset's Reversal on the stack. The first copy was used to return the Narset's Reversal. The extra copy after that is used to copy Karn's Temporal Sundering or your time spell, and that returns that to your hand. That's it. There you go. It's extremely weird and easy to mess up, but we do have an infinite turns combo in this deck. And I believe... actually, no, I don't think Jin-Gitaxias can do anything about that, but it's just something to be aware of. We've got a new card from the Kamigawa Alchemy set. It's Cyber Siphoner. It's basically Snapcaster Mage. It's a 4-mana 2/2 with Flash, but it costs 2 less to cast if there's no instants and sorceries in your hand. So it's a great top deck if you are running low on resources, because it's nice and cheap and can return a very powerful resource back to your hand. And when it dies, it gets shuffled into your library as well, so you can absolutely block with this and basically open yourself up for value later down the line. I think that's all I'm really going to talk about with this deck. I'm sure I've rambled on long enough for you all to read every single card in this deck while I've been talking. So yeah, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more like it in the future. And without further ado, let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in on the play with a turn 2 Brawl, or Mindstone. We're going to keep this one. It's not a terribly strong hand, but it'll do. We're up against Nethroy, Apex of Death. Disdainful Stroke, a good one for that deck. I want to set up Brawl in such a way where I can Brawl plus Hold Up and Denial to protect it. Glowspore Shaman, alright. There's a 3-1 that will prove to be quite the tough individual for the time being. Alright. So we got Negate, Disdainful Stroke, and Whirlwind Denial all here to potentially do some good stuff. I'm not going to be trading off with the Glowspore Shaman just yet. I'm going to take 3 for a little while. What about Solve the Equation? Would leave me with the mana to cast a 4-drop. I think I'm going to do that. Grab an instant or sorcery. One's going to go Heartless Act. I'm going to go Negate. And I guess I'm gonna draw and discard, Wash Away. How does the cleave cost work? Do I get to cleave but cost 1 less because of Brawl? I think I might be able to. Let's get rid of Disdainful Stroke, I suppose. Whirlwind Denial could do some shenanigans. Discover the Formula is a good one. Time Warp would be 4 mana. I'm looking for a... At this point, I don't know what I'm looking for. An instant speed card, really, is specifically what I'd like. Could do Counterspell. 2 mana Thirst for Knowledge. I think I want a 3-drop. Don't know about Absorb Energy. Just give me, just give me Discover the Formula. I think that's fine. I think that'll be okay. If Brawl dies, we've got the cost reduction there, haven't we? So, take 3. Poly K. Alright, so I'm going to... Yeah, I can cleave it. Good. Let's do that. Get rid of Pelucranos. We're going to loot, because we have... I really do kind of need that. But I don't want to leave myself without counter spells. So I'm just going to hope I draw a land. I'm so good at Magic the Gathering. Okay. So Discover the Formula. He's going to make Whirlwind Denial cost 1. We're then going to Mystic Sanctuary, putting Discover the Formula back on top of our library. So I'm going to draw that when I counter. Yeah, this was huge. Take 3 again. Definitely going to be able to race this Glowspore Shaman at this rate. So I can counter just about anything our opponent plays. If they've got like Fatal Push, then won't be able to, but... Let's go Whirlwind Denial. We get that counter. Let me like dump Blink of an Eye, I guess. Opponent's very upset. Probably quite rightly so. Foretells a card. So I'm going to play my land. I could do this, which would make Discover the Formula cost 4. Or I could do Discover the Formula, make Primal Amulet cost 2. I think I'm just going to Discover first. Because I want Supreme Will. Have I missed like a point of damage here and there? I probably have, right? Gravenlaw, not very good with Discover the Formula, but that's a nombo I'm willing to accept. Opponent just passes. Archmage's Charm, awesome. Let's play Primal Amulet. And hit you for 1. I mean, eventually I'm just going to trade the Glowspore Shaman off with Brawl. I think I'm actually, like, Gravenlawing for 2 here. As funny as that may be. We'll see what our opponent does first. They're going to go Shalai. So this is counter unless you pay 3. I'm just going to go for the counter target spell here. Opponent's still very upset. Goodbye, opponent. They had a Doomscar in the Foretell zone. They could have tried to kill my Brawl with that anytime they liked. Chose not to. Well, I mean, it's Jin-Gitaxias. If you're not prepared for Counterspell Tribal, just scoop. It's a casual format. You know, you don't really get anything out of winning other than a daily. And you could probably win 2 dailies in the time it takes to play this match out. So, yeah, no, I don't feel bad for our opponent. They played a matchup they didn't like when they didn't have to. That was up to them. Either way, though, that was a good showing for the deck, and we're on to the next one. Alright, we're up against Kodama of the West Tree. We have a hand I would deem too expensive, to be honest. We can't even cast our early game cards in a relevant way, so I'm going to take the mull on this one. This hand has exactly the same problem. But it does have a Whelming Wave, and almost the means to get there. This one I think I might keep. I'm going to go Snow-Covered Island for now, because I don't know whether or not I'm going to go Jwari's Disruption. I'm going to let my next draw dictate that. I think that means I'm going tap land here. Consuming Tide and Whelming Wave are both mass bounce spells. So anything they play likely won't add to the board in a way that Whelming Wave won't deal with. Destiny Spinner is actually, like, the best card in their deck against me, apparently. So that's a thing. Key to the Archive is next turn. That is a token mana dork thing. And we got a Nezahal, so another big boy. Probably means his Key to the Archive is going to pick a card that... Ooh, Demonic Tutor. And Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt could kill their Destiny Spinner. What would Demonic Tutor get me? I guess maybe, like, Firemine's Vessel? You gotta take DT, right? Let's get rid of the really expensive Jin-Gitaxias here. Counters on some creatures. There's Kodama. Actually gonna get to ramp here. Should mention, Kodama of the West Tree is our opponent's commander with Reach and Trample, a 3-mana 3/3 modified creatures, like creatures with +1/+1 counters on them, have Trample, and when it deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So our opponent gets a big board. I could go Jin-Gitaxias here. I think I kind of like that, because I get 2 extra turns if Jin lives. And I'm pretty sure that's a pretty likely outcome. So please no pump into fight spell. I'm not even going to block. Unless they tap out. If you tap out, then obviously I'll have targets to block, so... Yeah, they're holding up a mana here. Get a land off the top with the Augur. So it'll be no blocks from me into Khan's Temporal Sundering for 2 turns. Turn after that, double Demonic Tutor. Don't know what that would get me, but I imagine that would put me in a winning position. Uh-oh. Moss Viper probably means Jin-Gitaxias is dead. Which is really bad for me. That's me losing, basically, I think. Because I don't have the mana to recast Jin-Gitaxias. I can Whelming Wave. But then I'm using a lot of value that I could gain off of Jin-Gitaxias. Oh, they're actually pumping it. Oh. That feels very incorrect, but that's just me, I suppose. Right, so. Khan's Temporal Sundering. Take an extra turn and bounce the token. Take an extra turn and bounce the Destiny Spinner. Opponent has had enough with me taking 2 turns. Yeah, what do I get with Demonic Tutor after that? I get 2 cards of my choice. So I could get Discover the Formula and cast that on my opponent's turn. And maybe something else after that. No, I guess that would be it. I would go Demonic Tutor, copy it twice. One of them would be Discover the Formula. I would have to Whelming Wave, I think, actually. Or maybe Consuming Tide. To leave my opponent with not enough to just, like, brutalize my life total. Yeah, I think it would be DT, Consuming Tide. And then I could do Key to the Archive replayed, something like that. I think that would be my line. But yeah, I think we would be in a winning position from this point, so sweet. On to the next one. Alright, on the play. This hand is good. It doesn't have any ramp, but it has 3 lands and plenty to do with those 3 lands. So we've got an opportunity to draw some good cards here. I'm just going to make sure that I have 3 mana and play the Sullivan Isle here tapped, because I want to be able to hold up an Essence Scatter on 2 as well. Getting the 4th mana there is quite good. Cold Steel Heart for our opponent. Could put it on white. Yep. Could slow them down with a Brazen Borrower. Actually kind of like that. Let's make them play their cards quite fair. And now I've either got Flash in, Brazen Borrower, or Opt plus Scatter. Or even Opt looking for an answer to the Cold Steel Heart, maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to care about it just yet. But you to the bottom. I've already got a land. Ugin's not bad. And put it back on white. And Ulseed. Ulseed is fine. Wash Away. That's a good one. That puts me on Brazen Borrower plus answer your Snapdax. Yeah. This is fine. That's the turn. So our opponent is on Snapdax Apex of the Hunt. Some pretty cool manga art there. I do like that one. I don't like that one. This one upsets me, so I'm just gonna say no to that one. 2 spell turn where they can make a spirit is not good for me. And it's just more threats on the board that I have to deal with. Mecha Godzilla. I have a mecha good answer to that. So I think, while I still can, I'm just gonna go boop like that. They can actually, like, sack Ulseed to give it protection from blue and drop that off if they really want to. I'm happy for them to just, like, make that decision. Opponent shocks in there. So a big spell come in, which I'll have to wash away. Yeah, I guess I'm washing that away. Aketra is not something that Ugin's really going to be dealing with. Being indestructible and all. Absorb energy. Really, really want a card advantage spell here, and I feel bad that this is how this game is going, but here we are. I don't think our opponent knows that the Ulseed can take that transmutation off, which is good for me. The longer they don't realize that, the more life total I have over these turns. Sedgemoor Witch. Is that one fine? I could just Consuming Tide. Yeah, I guess that one's fine. I'll flash in Brazen Borrower here. Because basically when I go for Consuming Tide, it's going to bounce everything but 1 permanent. And if they don't choose Mecha Godzilla, then I'm just going to lose my transmutation anyway. Okay. Fair enough. There's the Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, this hand's not shaping out very well. I do need some card advantage or some ramp. There's the Snapdax. Not anything I can do about that. We hope this doesn't give hexproof. It gives vigilance. Need a land. Graven Law. Can't kick that. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to go Graven Law main phase looking for lands here. I did find a land. Got Tome of the Infinite as well. I think I'm just going to take the land. I've got to deal with Sedgemoor Witch next turn. Tome of the Infinite could help. It could also give me fogs and things like that, so I guess I'll take it. Got Cold Steel Heart. Nothing too crazy there. Yeah, if this ever gets hexproof, I'm in big trouble. But yeah, I never actually got through to what Snapdax does. He can mutate it, which our opponent just did there. And it's a double striking thing, and when you mutate, it deals 4 damage to, I think it's creature or planeswalker. Yes, and game 4. Alright, there is a time warp. I think my turn just looks like Ugin minus, though. I can't allow my opponent to potentially get the hexproof, because then I'll just lose. Get a Cold Steel Heart for free. I'm actually going to put this on... not blue. Reason being, if I get my Key to the Archive, I want extra mana that's not blue to deal with that nonsense. Alright, Foulmire Knight. Draws and loses them 1. Makes a token. And they draw an extra card. So I'm going to go tick up. Get a Nezahal under there. That's quite nice. Give me Relic Kicked. Which gives me Time Warp for an extra turn. Then I get to tick up Ugin again, keeping ahead of our opponent's tokens here. Let's do Jin-Gitaxias. Replicating Ring gets copied. Tome of the Infinite would be lovely to copy, but it's legendary, so I need to make sure I cast that last. And then I suppose I just pass with my counterspells open, because I'm in a pretty good position. I'd like to maintain that. So the first artifact, instant or sorcery they play is countered. Everything else I can mess around with. I don't really care about a 1/1 Death Touch. If they go for the mutate, I'll care about that instead. So let's just disallow that. Disallow it again. Definitely getting countered. And usually this is where our opponent concedes, but they haven't, so good for them. Let's see how they want to attack here. I would imagine they don't. Yep. Alright, Ring does its thing. Double Hedron Archive would be quite good. Let's tick Ugin up, so we've got that minus for next turn. Dwari's Disruption underneath.
Secrets manifest before you.
Give me 2 Hedron Archives, please. Mega Ramp. So good. Tome of the Infinite. Activate Tome. See if we can get a Ponder. Got a Force Spike. In which case, I'm going to try and progress my board a little bit more with a sacked Hedron Archive here. Field of Ruin, which I guess I'll play. And yeah, that's all we can really do. Let's pass the turn. Opponent's got a lot of cards on us, which is the unfortunate part. Porky Parrot. No. No. Absolutely not. Giving them a machine gun to kill all my creatures. I mean, they're probably just going to kill my Jin-Gitaxias here anyway, but... Oh wow, did you just play into my Force Spike? Oh, too good. Oh, too good. I kind of knew that there was going to be a follow-up that killed Jin-Gitaxias there, but I don't know if it's obvious. I don't really care about command attacks. Yeah, just getting Force Spike off of Tome and then our opponent immediately flashing in to play into it was just... chef's kiss. Well, that was a good one. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. This deck is quite a lot of fun for me. I don't think it's particularly terribly powerful. I think you'd rather go with Jacob Hawken as your mono blue commander right now. That one's kind of got a little bit of a combo finish. And while it is a little inconsistent from time to time in terms of its payoff, its actual ramp strategy to get it to flipping Jacob is fairly strict and consistent in that manner. So I feel like I would rather play Jacob over Jin-Gitaxias, but there's still a lot of fun stuff to do with Jin, and hopefully we showed that off today. And yeah, he's a lot harder to cast, that is. So you know. Here's the thing. Anyway, guys, take care, and peace.